ended the Cold War.
I'm still waiting for the Summit, the movie. When that happens.
There was a miniseries made in Canada.
Really?
I've got it on DVD. Yes.
Do you really?
Oh, no, they make DVDs up there now, do they?
Yes, folks. Welcome to Basically a Sports Show, the Ugly American edition.
But just to finish Russia-U.S. commentary, just to show how far hockey's coming in the U.S., during the Russian game, unfortunately it was during the middle of the week, or it was on a Friday morning, right?
I don't know.
It was during the U.S.-Slovakia game last week, and there was an elementary school teacher or student, or high school student, sorry. He wanted to watch the Olympic ice hockey game.
Should come to Canada.
And it was in his Spanish class.
You should come to Canada.
The teacher said no, and so the student responded, and this is documented because it was on a disciplinary report afterwards. The student asked to watch the Olympic ice hockey game. I said no. The student then said, "You're a communist, communist, communist."
I did finally, at long last, tonight, when I got home from work, got to watch some curling. So that made my whole week. Watch Canada beat Sweden in the gold medal game, and it was great.
I just watched that, too, for the women.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Now, speaking, Sweden and, talking about how the other men's semifinals is Sweden versus Finland, can I just address this point? Finland is not a Scandinavian country. Please stop referring to this. Okay,
Mike, if you read my post, I clearly pointed out that the northern portion of Finland is on the Scandinavian peninsula. Scandinavian.
Scandinavian is a cultural term, a culture, a culture.
Then why is it called the Scandinavian Peninsula? That's a geographic landform.
Because most of it has Scandinavian countries on it.
But it also has Finland.
Finns are actually descended from people from Central Europe, not Scandinavians who are descended from people from Northern Europe. It's a completely different ethnic group.
But the Finns speak Swedish.
I thought they spoke Finnish.
They do, but they also speak Swedish.
Because it's right there. It's just makes sense to speak it, I guess.
Well, we don't speak Mexican.
No.
Did you just say Mexican?
Yes.
I was going to follow that. I was going to follow it up with we don't speak Canadian either. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
English? Why do I have to learn English? I'm not going to England.
No. We learn American English. We don't learn none of that Queen's English stuff. We kicked you guys out for a reason.
We speaks American down here.
What's the last letter of the alphabet, guys?
Z.
Z.
It's Z.
Yeah. What'd I say, Z?
You said Z.
That's close enough.
Z. It's the Queen's English.
So
that makes no sense. What, Z? What the hell is Z? What the hell is
the
Z?
It's the last letter of the alphabet. I don't know.
It's a Z. It's a Z.
It's Z.
No.
Well, you guys, there's a U in color up there, and
it's called class.
I think I've asked you this before, but I'm going to ask you again. The Rush song, is it YYZ?
That's how, yeah.
Okay, the band, is it ZZ Top?
You get okay. It's with them. Okay, JZ/JZ.
JZ's better.
In both of those cases, you get a mix. Some people say I actually have heard some people say ZZ Top, but I've also heard people say ZZ Top. And same with Jay-Z. I've heard people say Jay-Z, and I've heard people say JZ. So
he's from America, so he's Jay-Z.
I don't know. I think JZ's pretty cool myself.
Yeah,
I like that. The Z, it's got to be ZZ Top, but I'm okay with JZ. I'm thinking that's all right. But yeah, I don't get that. How did that happen? I mean, how did we go from weeks? Better question. What is it in Great Britain? Is it Z or Z?
It's Z.
Is it really?
Yes.
How in the hell did we end up with it being Z?
I think it's Z in Australia too.
It's Z it's Z throughout the English-speaking world except the United States where it's Z. And it's Z in the United States because after the Revolution, the United States made a conscious effort to make American English distinct from British English because they wanted to distance themselves from the UK.
Ah, gotcha. All right.
Like all the differences in spelling, like you know how you guys take the U out of like color,
right? Because it's not necessary.
that was all deliberate. It wasn't like a natural linguistic evolution. It was just the Americans saying we're going to spell stuff differently because we're not affiliated with Britain any longer.
Because America.
Kind of like with the metric system, where we're just screw the rest of the world. We're going to do it our way.
Kind of, yes.
All right, that's how we roll down here, man.
I mean, it'd just be so much easier if everyone converted to what we do.
Exactly.
And Fahrenheit. Come on.
Exactly. I agree.
Get on the Fahrenheit train.
I completely agree.
So the rest of the world is wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike,
Always.
you're Canadian. You're just socialized to acquiesce to everyone else and be completely polite.
Right.
We, on the other hand,
We
stick
are
up
not.
for our beliefs.
That's right.
Freedom of measurements. That's in the Constitution.
Are you going to start referring to them as like freedom inches?
Yeah.
And like
Freedom fries, man.
Freedom fries, man.
Instead of like degrees in Fahrenheit, it's degrees in freedom.
Exactly.
Like it's 87 degrees freedom.
It's
Yeah,
87
no longer 6
freedom
degrees of
degrees.
Kevin Bacon. It's 6 degrees of freedom.
Exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, that's just the way we do things. So I'm with Zach. If everyone did it our way, it would be so much easier. So much. For everyone else. Because here's the thing. We're going to do it our way no matter what.
I mean, half the world accepts American dollars as it is. Why can't you just accept everything else we do?
Right.
We don't really do that anymore since the exchange rates evened out. So
That's not true. Canadian money's plastic. It's obviously worth less.
it also smells like maple syrup.
It does.
Well, I don't know. That's a selling point to me.
But you can't
Because
eat
our
it.
money smells like a gazillion filthy, dirty people that have touched it before
Our
us.
money smells like heroin.
Yeah, it smells like
you know
heroin
what? It
and
was
cocaine.
probably handled by a heroin dealer at one point.
More than
I
likely.
would have no doubts.
I
Anyway.
love
The jingle
doesn't
is
the
that the Olympics in
Yeah, no kidding.
don't the Olympics bring out the best in people's nationalistic tendencies?
Like, I have no reason to hate Canada other than because we have to play them in a hockey game. That's the only time I root against Canada.
Yeah, I agree with that. But to me, if Canada wins, I won't be as happy. But as long as it's either us or Canada, I'm cool with just about everything. Anyone else, screw them.
I mean, honestly, the Russians getting knocked out and not even being able to compete for a medal is almost enough for me to consider these a success.
Yeah, and the fact that in the past the North American teams have done horribly when these things are over in Europe.
Yeah.
The fact that one way or another a North American team is going to be in the final and the bronze medal game it worked.
Yeah, I was honestly
And-
not
and
expecting either
by
the
the
U.S.
way-
or Canada to do that well.
Yeah, neither was I. I was expecting. I didn't think the U.S. would get where it was. They pleasantly surprised me. Canada, I thought would just crack. But there's only one NHL franchise that has a player, at least one player, on each of the 4 teams remaining is guaranteed a gold, silver, and bronze.
That would be, let me guess, the Anaheim Ducks?
Indeed, your mighty Anaheim Ducks.
Well, okay.
Or as, if anyone watched D2, and it's applicable because these are an international competition, the Mighty Ducks of America.
Didn't they change the Rock the Pond song for that one?
Yeah, in the credits of the movie, it was the Mighty Ducks of America, but it still said Rock the Pond. Because the Junior Goodwill games were competed at the pond, if you remember.
The Mighty Ducks of America.
Yeah, Mighty Ducks of America. I mean, we were wearing the Team USA jerseys and getting our ass kicked by Iceland. So we come out in the third period wearing Mighty Ducks jerseys, and obviously it just inspired that championship mentality.
Because why play for your country when you can play for the Mighty Ducks?
Right.
I mean, it's a legitimate question. I don't know why there isn't just a Mighty Ducks entry into the Olympics.
Or better yet, why not just send the Ducks? Well, you can't do that because too many different nationalities on the team, so that wouldn't work.
Here's what's going to happen.
But there were kids from every state in the union. They had to come together to become.
Seriously?
Mighty
There's a
Ducks.
Hawaiian kid? Is there a
Well,
Hawaiian
no.
kid?
I mean, there's obviously not 50 kids on the team, but there was
You
that.
know,
There was
you
that
said every
Mexican
state.
or the Cuban kid from Miami. There was the Asian kid from, I think it was from California.
Miami being the hotbed of hockey that it is.
Well, at the time, the
Panthers.
Panthers had just come up.
Oh, okay.
The Panthers had existed for a full year and a half when that movie came out. So obviously,
You know what? I've never
be
understood why there aren't more NHL players from Alaska. Well, what was his name? Chris Gomez, right?
Scott Gomez.
Or Scott?
Scott
Gomez.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but have there been any since him?
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a few.
I just
you'd think Alaska would be like America's mini Canada.
right.
Well, that's Minnesota. There's just not enough people in Alaska.
That's true.
I guess that's
the other
true.
problem is Alaska's so far away from the rest of the states that it can't exactly compete against other states and things, really.
This is true.
And, like I said, there's not enough people, so I'm sure there's only like 10 high schools in Alaska. And Alaska's a big place, so like if you had Nome High School and they wanted to play Anchorage, that's a trip.
That's like a 14-hour plane ride.
That's a dog sled trip across the tundra.
Right. I mean, you would know, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you get to work every day, right? Dog sled?
Dog sled, of course, yes. Actually, it wouldn't be half bad given the weather we've had. It would probably be very efficient. My prediction for tomorrow's game, Canada's going to be leading going into the third period, and then Team USA comes out wearing Mighty Ducks uniforms.
My prediction for the game tomorrow?
Uh-huh.
Pain.
Pain?
Yeah, Rocky III reference. We already went Ivan Drago. I figured I'd throw in a Rocky III reference there, too. Who do they have? What are their lines?
I mean, Crosby can't play internationally, apparently.
Do we have to take the Wayback Machine to 4 years ago?
He scored a goal, and it was not on
the
international.
Goal.
It was not. Hey. It was one goal.
What? Yeah, the goal.
And it was on NHL. And it was on NHL ice.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he scored one goal.
And be
prepared for the Maple Hammer that will come crashing down.
Maple Hammer.
Yeah. And we're gonna send you guys the bronze medal game, and that's what's gonna happen.
Okay.
Sure.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
You and your Nazi jerseys can just go.
Those jerseys were such a bad idea.
Have they worn the Nazi jerseys
yes,
yet?
They wore them against Austria because Austria Austria pretty much has the same exact uniform as the Canadians do. So to differentiate it, they wore the black jersey in that game.
Which is also awesome because where was Hitler born?
I was just going to say, what better team to wear your Nazi jerseys against than Austria?
I guess the last thing about the Olympics would be how United States and Russia screwed Canada out of a figure skating medal.
Yeah, so what's the story with this?
The idea was there was a French magazine, L'Equipe, which is French for the team.
Zach with a decidedly international flair tonight.
It's the same word as it is in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
And I know Spanish. I don't know French. I know like select things based on hockey.
Ole, ole, ole.
There's that. I know 3 stars of the game. I know I know what the penalty for roughing is. La rudesse.
Was it la rudeness?
Something
yeah,
like that.
yeah, it's rudeness basically.
That's funny.
That translates to.
The literal translation is like a penalty for rudeness. Speaking of which, women's hockey's dumb because there's a penalty for body checking, but I digress.
Yeah.
The story in L'Equipe was that the Russians and Americans were conspiring to allow Russia to win the team figure skating event, the inaugural hosting of this event in the games there in Russia, in exchange for letting the U.S. win the ice dancing gold, which they've never won an ice dancing gold medal before. And so, a lot of people think, that's just rumor. I mean, stuff like that in figure skating has happened.
Sure,
I guess. But they just said, come on, that stuff doesn't happen anymore. And then the Russians go and win the team competition. And then the Americans go out and set a world record for a score in the ice dancing, like 3 times they set the world record.
Wow.
And they win the ice dancing gold medal.
Well,
so that's the hubbub.
What little I know about figure skating, I do know that we think that our college sports are kind of dirty and scandal-ridden. My understanding of figure skating is that it's even worse than college sports. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but that's what I've heard.
It was 2002 all over again. Once again, Canada gets screwed.
Well, if you guys could do anything about it might be a different story.
In Vancouver, I think it's okay.
No.
You get outraged, Mike.
Travis Shamrockery.
I just know that with figure skating, I can't tell the difference between a good routine and a bad one. Unless someone falls down, they all look the same to me.
Yeah,
So.
that's generally how I am too. If I'm watching figure skating, it's like